Get everybody's microphones turned on, including mine. Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Hello. Hello.
Hey, Bob, how you doing?
Including mine. Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
All right, somebody's got to mute their speakers. Mute them.
Bob, how you doing?
Going along, everybody. How's everybody back there?
All right, Bob, I need you to turn the speakers off on your viewer because you're causing the feedback. Just mute the speaker on the viewer.
How's it sound now?
Yeah, okay. Because you were answering yourself and I wasn't answering me and I wasn't talking. It was coming back through. There's a delay on the stream here.
Because you were answering yourself and I wasn't.
No, you got to turn that off, Bob.
Great. There's a delay on this.
Nathan, do you have the YouTube viewer up and going?
Yep.
Turn your speaker off on it. Go up there on the screen, and where it shows the speaker, click on it so it mutes. Otherwise, you're causing a feedback.
Second.
All right, what about Nathan?
Wait, what?
Okay. Just want to make sure you didn't mute your microphone.
Technology is great when it works.
When it works.
When it works. Sam Cool's in the house, everybody.
Technology is great.
Brother.
Yeah. How's that sound now?
I'm still getting the feedback from somebody here. We got to get these mic.
Hold on.
Now, it's before you came in, Sam, but make sure you got the speaker turned off on the viewer if you're watching the YouTube channel.
Like if I'm watching the live stream?
Yeah, if you're watching the live stream.
Separate. If you're watching on.
No.
Turn it down.
Yeah, I'm not watching.
All right.
Yeah, mine off. Let's.
Turn the volume down.
All right.
So hold on there, Nate. So Johnny.
Whoa. Yeah.
This is the Thursday night deal.
Yeah, I'm still getting the feedback, Bob. Mute your microphone, Bob, because you're causing a bad feedback here.
All right.
Best thing to do is just turn the YouTube. If you're watching YouTube live, just turn that off.
Yeah,
Just click it off.
Yeah.
Okay. What's that, Bill?
I said this is the Thursday night talk show.
Yes.
This is the famous Johnny's Train talk show.
Yes, it is. And that's what it says in the. That's what it says in the description.
And how have I been missing out on this little bit of fun? Huh?
We've been here before.
Because Nathan.
Yeah, but I never.
Nathan hasn't been sending you an email.
Oh, that's the deal. Anyway, so how does this work?
It works like a regular chat. We talk about trains.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Do you answer the Q&As?
Oh yeah.
Do you? Can I say hello to all these people?
Yes, you
can.
can.
Hey, Lloyd. Hey, Michael Conley.
Now can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, now you sound 5x5, brother.
Yeah, no sound.
Mark Donovan, Mark, how are you? Joe G, Sparky 107. Good morning, Model Railroad.
Hi, Sparky.
You on the other side of the equator there, Sparky. Split Rock. Hello, everyone. Start to finish coatings. Hello. Howdy, Johnny. Hi, Bill from Sparky. Brian W. Hey, Brian, how are you? And here's Lloyd. Lloyd's in the house, everybody. Give it up. Hoo-hoo. Mr. Sam Cool. Sparky says hi, Mr. Sam Cool. Robert Holman. Joe's Train Room or Johnny's Model Train Talk? It's Johnny's Model Train Talk.
Yeah, on the thing, if I can get my camera to focus.
Yeah, it's focused, but
It
it's
says,
too.
you can't read it, but it says Joe's
Train Room. Well, then I'm officially making it Johnny's Train Talk Show right here.
In other words, what everybody needs to do is refresh, because it does say Johnny's Small Train Talk in the description.
No, Sparky, Big Bill did not have any coffee tonight. This is how Big Bill always acts.
We got 21 people watching.
This is the repeat of yesterday's show. We had the show yesterday. Sorry, John. Go right ahead.
No, go ahead.
I have a tendency. This show was brought to you, by the way, by Claudio's Landscaping out here in Staten Island, New York. Claudio, at his number, I put it right there. Claudio mentioned YouTube Model Builders live show with Johnny's Train Talk. He'll give you 15% off your cleanup in your house and finish up for the season. So this show is brought to you by Claudio's Landscape. There you go, bro. All right, John, go right ahead. Carry on now. What's the topic?
Oh, anything and everything.
Trains, obviously. Didn't you read the title?
Well, one thing is, Nathan has got another video that he's going to share with us. He's built another locomotive. Except I think he put the cab on the wrong end.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard there's only one left.
You did that to me.
Yeah. This is what it used to look like, but now it looks like this. Oh, wait. All scratch built by me.
You made that, Nathan?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
So you got the pin and
the ready line is printed out on a piece of paper by a printer, and I cut that out and glue that on with Loctite.
Very nice. I like the fact, Nathan, that you know, I noticed that every time I watch the show from behind the scenes, not being on the panel, I've always watched how you put things together. You're never afraid to tackle the technical nor the difficult job. That's a lot of courage.
oh, hang on.
Uh-oh.
Now
I'm in trouble.
No. No, this thing is showing.
I have it on my phone. I can see us.
We are on there. I'm showing offline. All right, let me refresh one part here and. All right, let me reload my.
Mine's working.
All right.
My.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's working. Hey, we got a question before we go into Nathan's situation. If you don't mind, we got a question here. You mind if I read it?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm trying to refresh the YouTube part.
Okay. It says here, Sparky 107 says, what inspired everyone to do the layout they have? Memories, dreams, or prototypical of today and around you, basically. So, Sam, you have a layout that you're building. What prompted you to?
Peer pressure.
Really? From who?
I have a YouTube channel of my own, and the whole story is I wanted to put in a turntable on my layout. But at the time, I had 2 4x8 tables. I was like, that's not really enough space.
your mic just went out.
No, it's
What?
Sam has problems with his mic. We hadn't figured it out yet.
Oh, okay.
He'll be
I'm
talking,
sorry,
and all of a sudden it just starts splattering, and then it quits.
Oh, okay. All right.
Is
Go
it good
ahead,
now?
Sam.
Yeah,
peer
go ahead.
pressure.
Go
You
ahead,
held the gun
Sam.
to your head and what?
So, where was I when I cut out?
So you said
Someone was threatening you through peer pressure to build.
Oh. So, I had 2 4x8 tables just set together, and I wanted to put in a turntable, but I didn't really have enough space, and I was always talking on the channel about putting in a turntable. And that weekend, I went to a family reunion, and my stepfather's uncle is a model railroader. He talked to me and he was like, well, if you just have 2 4x8 tables and you're moving, you just build a modular layout. I was like, all right. So I made one video trying to find a track plan, and then everyone was like, for the next year, because I hadn't made a video updating on the layout because there was really nothing I could do, because I didn't know how to build it. It was like everyone was constantly, where is it? Build it right now, do it, because the internet wants blood. So I eventually got a hold of a guy and got it built, and so I guess you could say my audience inspired me to build my layout, but also a lot of people around me, mostly my parents, telling me that I really should not do it. So that I used that as inspiration to not listen to it.
All right. How about you, Nathan? Have you got a layout, or do you have one that you intending to build?
I have both. I think the way that inspired me is my ideas. Like it used to be a back and forth layout, A to B, but now I turned into a loop layout.
Okay.
And you can go in the middle.
Great. And Lloyd, are you with us? What inspired you to do this?
You, Bill.
Me. I am the inspiration to a lot of people. I know that, but thank you so very, very much.
No, my inspiration is that in my line of work, I see a lot of people getting ready, going towards retirement, and have nothing to look forward to. So by having that, that's going to be my retirement project, my retirement.
Nice.
And what besides that, I mean, not having been around trains, not ever having trains, or yeah. So this was kind of new for me, and I like new stuff.
Well, if anybody gets a chance, go to what is it, CNLVN?
Yep.
Yeah, go to his YouTube channel, CNLVN, and check out. He did a 2-part series with Lloyd on his MHO Junction Railroad, and you should see this railroad. This is and Lloyd's has never been into model railroading. He got into it
3 years ago.
But by chance. So I would have to say that the South Brooklyn Railroad was conceived and thought of many, many years ago. It started back in 1981, 82. It was first the dog bone layout in the basement of my house. But it became too overwhelming because at the time my son was very young. I was working a lot and didn't have time for it. Then when I retired, my son moved out. I inherited his bedroom, and South Brooklyn Railroad came to be. And the South Brooklyn Railroad is based on if you go to if you Google Bush BUSH terminal, you will see you will see the origins of the South Brooklyn Railroad. It's based on that. The New York City Transit Authority used to run the South Brooklyn Railroad. They had two diesel engines that they ran. They were red, painted red. One was named Nancy 1 and Nancy 2. And I actually copied those and had them painted professionally and to get that done. So the South Brooklyn Railroad is based on the Bush Terminal Railroad that worked out of the New York City Harbor in Brooklyn. And I personally worked on that railroad. You had to have a single-digit file number to work on that. And the one time I worked on it, the guy had to go for a medical, and I went and took his place. So that's what the railroad is based on. It's an industrial switching layout based on companies that worked or were in the area. So that's what mine is. And basically, it's something that I worked with and I knew well. So I just put it in miniature form in my bedroom, which I have to clean track starting tomorrow. I hate cleaning track. Show of hands out there, how many people hate cleaning track? Okay, there we go. We'll take your word, Lloyd, because Lloyd, your layout is bigger than mine. And it's a tremendous job.
Yeah. So before,
track laying already hurts me.
Yeah, well, the fun thing about track laying is it's good. Fun.
Well, I enjoy laying the track. I just don't enjoy cleaning
it. What I heard was from my friend Joel. Like I said before, he said that the good way of a track work is good track laying.
I think the maintenance of the layout is a little daunting at times.
You know what you do, Bill?
What's that?
Just before having an operation session, make sure the people come in 2 hours before.
Yeah.
And everybody puts their grind to your layout, so you don't have to clean it. You wait for the other people to come over and clean it.
You know what I've done?
Track cleaner car, and then
no. Hold on. No, she just went into I have to whisper. What I've done is I've convinced her that cleaning the track is hygienically good for the house, so that there's no dust. So tomorrow she's going to start cleaning the track for me, because I laid out all the solvents and everything. Rubber gloves. That's it. So let's move on now. God, is everything refreshed?
Yeah. I sure hope so. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, Bob. Loud and clear, 5 by 5.
I mean, we could hear you. It's the problem is, if you are watching YouTube live on another screen, you have to mute the sound on it.
Yeah, I forgot to do that, but when I turned it off, it's like I lost everything. So I had to go back and start over, and this is actually not too bad right now. So
okay.
Well, good. You sound
I
better.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but I had everything changed here on the live stream. But then when I refreshed it, it all went back to Joe's train room. So just for right now, to help people know that they're in the right place, I got Johnny Small Train Talk in the upper description. I'll change the rest of it after the show.
How many?
Oh. I got too many nitpicking people around here.
Yeah, I know. You noticed? I went today to have lunch with my mother and my sister, and in this Chinese restaurant, and we were sitting by where the takeout section is. And you want to talk about nitpicking? Guy walks into the restaurant. He tells the lady that he ordered a dinner last night. His wife ordered 3 egg rolls. 3 egg rolls. When that order came, he only got 2. And he was in the restaurant to get his 3rd egg roll. Now, I'm serious. I'm not making this stuff up. This guy came in and wanted a 3rd egg roll. He said, "You didn't deliver me my 3rd egg roll."
So would anyone want me to show the video? I'm just curious when I should start.
Oh, yes, Nate. John, first and foremost, John is going to introduce Nate. Hey, you ready to do the track cleaning tomorrow?
Oh, yes. I'm not there to start without.
Start without you?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. But you know how hygienically it cleans the rail and it keeps the dust out?
John will be there tomorrow, right now.
John lives in Georgia, babe. Okay. All right, John.
All right, we're going to let Nathan do his thing because he's got school tomorrow in case he has to leave kind of early. So Nathan has done another scratch bill locomotive. So we're going to let him present that tonight.
Yeah, we're basically showing how this was built with people with the drivers inside too.
All right. Well, I guess I could make you full screen, couldn't I?
Yeah.
That's Big Bill in the driver's seat, isn't it?
Here goes nothing.
And I'm the conductor.
There you go.
Outside.
Nathan, is that done with the battery or is that electric?
That was done under my DCC controller.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That is so cool. Nathan, and Sparky 107 says, wow, I have to say, amazing things you can do with the pop can. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Creative Rail says he agrees. That is done. Seriously, is that a Schweppes can, ginger ale can?
Oh, that's me, all sorts of cans.
Nice stuff, brother. Nice stuff. I really do like that. Very creative, Nathan. Very creative.
What was some of those other parts you were using, Nathan? Looked like you had a nail that you cut off. Just used the head of. Is that what that was?
That was actually a tap. There was nothing wrong with it, so I thought it would look cool. So I like made a like a pipe, and then I stuck it on there and glued it in at the same time.
Oh, okay.
And then the same part I added a screw in. It's about that small, and I stuck that into the same thing that was supposed to be a generator, like on a normal steam locomotive.
Okay. Now, what kind of paint was you painting that with?
Spray painted. Then I had to do other like paintbrushing on there to cover that up.
Yeah, what kind of spray paint did you use? Is that the craft paints like Apple Barrel or?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
You use the spray can?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're using what we call a rattle can. Shake it up and spray it.
Yeah.
You put a primer on there first, or you just spray it with the color?
I spray it on there.
Yeah, just the color?
Yeah. Yeah, and if that doesn't work clearly, then I use these types of acrylic paints to cover up the unwanted stuff.
Yeah. Good job.
Very good.
Very good.
2 thumbs up, as they say. Sparky 107 says, I would be scared of cutting myself. Looks like sharp sides and edges.
Yeah, they are.
I noticed if you press lightly on the sharp edges, it doesn't really cut you, but if you like plane it too hard, it's gonna definitely scratch.
Yeah, I would imagine you'd have to be careful. My wife keeps all the sharp objects away from me. I'm only allowed to use spoon.
I get worried when I start using my rail cutters. I think I'm gonna cut like tipping my finger off doing that. Couldn't imagine cutting into a can.
Yeah.
Well, if you cut your
can, especially when you cut into the can basically. Ralph Renzetti's in the house, boys.
Howdy, Ralph.
Mudfuck.
Hey, Ralph.
So,
go ahead, Nate.
So, Sam Cool, have you heard of the T1 Trust? I got this from the Pennsylvania Rare Museum.
Yes, I have.
Where they try to make one from scratch.
Mm-hmm. I've seen that. I almost bought a model. Never did, but came really close to buying one. It was one at my hobby shop, and it was like a blue line one. I was really close to buying it, but I was like, I saw another engine, and I was like, never bought it. They're really they're very interesting. So, and it'd be cool to see in action.
Yeah, I heard they built one in England. It's called Tornado. It's a locomotive that has been scrapped as well, but now it's still around. So, when they built from scratch.
Well, you've got another piece of equipment there that a lot of people are very interested in. You want to, because you were showing us just before the show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, what other piece of equipment have you got there?
If I could show it to the audience.
Yeah.
Drum roll, please.
Just make everybody jealous. Look at there. He's turning a lot slower this time.
Yeah, a lot slower now.
For dramatic effect.
Oh.
Turn it just a little bit more, Nathan. No, other way. Back towards the wall so we can see the spool. Yeah, you need to go up a little bit. There you go. Now we can see the whole machine. Mr. Nathan has got himself a 3D printer.
Ooh.
Ooh.
There we go.
These are cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Jealous.
What brand?
It's, I think I'm not sure, but it might start with an M. My YouTube channel has the exact website that I bought it off of, called
I think it's a Micromart. I think it's from Micromart.
Okay.
Could be from. It looks like that one that they sell.
Yeah, Nathan's already printed a couple of things out with it. If he can find it, I think he dropped it on the floor.
I always forget what stuff is. This is an unfinished 3D printed building.
Cool.
If anyone wants to know what software I use, there's a website called Tinkercad. It's a free website. It's kind of like you use like blocks in the computer to make your stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw a guy who had a Chinese QJ locomotive. It was a 210-2, and the frame, when he bought it, the frame was all messed up and like broken in half. So he like 3D printed a whole like new frame, and it was really cool. I saw pictures of it on a forum somewhere. I don't know what it was, but I saw it was really cool. So.
Yeah, I still want to do this and the 3D printing, basically.
Yeah, that'd be cool. You could learn how to do that, because I would never be able to learn how to. I don't have the patience for it.
Yeah.
Well, Sparky wants. He's still waiting on videos on how you program it to make the. But he just got it, Sparky. It's not something he had for a while. He's just. You recently got this, right?
I think it was a little while ago.
Okay, so you know.
Yeah, about a month or two.
Okay, so when you get around to it, make a video on it. When you learn it, then you learn the ins and outs of it.
I showed a video of the website where I 3D print the claw, but unless I could show you the website.
Okay. That's exciting. It's exciting to learn new things.
Yeah.
It is, right?
It's called Tinkercad. It's my. Oh, wait, it's starting. Wait. Oops.
You might be able to put the link in the chat or pull it up in another tab or something.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, what's the wrong one?
Yep, that's the wrong one.
Yeah, I'll put that in the chat.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. I like that idea.
Yeah, what you do is, Nathan, wait till the show's over and then put it in the comments on the show.
Yeah, that's...
That way everybody will see it.
Keep moving over.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a very good reader, so what I do is speak into my phone, they'll spread the words on.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Dave Piper here is asking, Nathan, did you print the building in one shot all at one time, or did you print the walls individual and then glue it together?
I print this all in one
shot.
Yeah.
Now, Nathan, your YouTube channel is Nathan Delay?
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody should go check out your channel.
Yeah, Sparky said to go check his channel because he said he knew the name was there.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good job. Now everybody knows you got a 3D printer. Look out.
Yep.
They're going to be asking you to do stuff.
Yeah. You think you can make this for me?
Wait, I don't know if I can see that.
Pair of scissors.
Oh. I think I might be able to do that.
Oh, now you're getting fancy. Now you're showing off me.
Oops.
That's cool. I like your initiative, son. I like it. No, I think it's Sparky. It's D-E. His name is capital D-E-L-A-Y?
E-Y.
E-Y? Is it? I thought it was always L-A-Y.
Oh, well, I'm looking at Sparky's.
Yeah, it's Delay.
Yeah.
Delay.
Sparky spelled it wrong.
Yeah, Delay. My last name.
Yeah. Dave Piper wants to know, do the tops of the windows sag at all?
They do sag when it's like printing.
And then once the plastic dries and it gets rigid. Hard.
Well, I think when it prints, like it prints kind of a little off, but when it builds up, it makes it more better.
Okay.
But it still has that bow at the bottom.
Okay. It prints like little thin sheets of plastic, I think, and then it builds on itself.
All right.
I think.
Yeah, the tricky part about getting the first 3D printer is you have to make the base level. And the way to do that, if you have a piece of paper and if it's like kind of slipping on the nozzle and the bed, that's when you know it's good. But at each corner, it's pretty tricky.
Yeah. John Dealey wants to know, Nathan, do you still have any T-shirts available?
I have one left.
What size?
Large.
All right, there you go, John.
Yeah, same shirt that I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they cost $15.
$15.
That's what they buy them from you for?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
$15. Can you get a shirt for me? I think you'd have to go to Omar the tent maker to get me a shirt. I'm the big and husky guy, you know. You got to go to the big and tall man. I mean, really big.
I'm skinny.
All right.
It worries people.
Don't get worried. When you get to my age and Vanna Bob's age, you'll be like, youth is wasted on the young, right, Bob and John?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, Bill, are you saying you want a shirt?
I'd be more than happy to send you one of the South Brooklyn shirts. I'll get in touch with you later and find out your size. I'm just putting it out to you. Creative says they are nice shirts. He says he loves the logo. Loves the. What's the what is your shirt based on? Is it on a railroad? The flag?
Yeah, it's kind of representing where I'm from. I live in School County, and the Reading Northern has that same logo.
And
I live right next to it, so I thought it'd be like a good way of showing where I live. Yeah, it's like the same covers, the same logo, but except the words. Wait, Bill, I think your microphone's off.
Yeah, he's talking to his wife.
My mistake.
I'm sorry, Nathan. My fault. My apologies to you.
No,
that wasn't fair to you.
Yeah, Bill's in his dining room.
What's that?
I said he would just want to make sure that he was paying attention.
Yes.
Yeah, you mentioned that, right?
Yeah.
I gotta just give me a second. I gotta go over and get the plug because I'm on this battery.
Bill, what's your YouTube channel name? I think I might be subscribed to you.
Yes, South Brooklyn. Yeah, you are subscribed. You have subscribed to me. Yes.
Sorry, but I gotta go.
Hi, Nathan.
Nathan, take care.
Appreciate you coming on and showing the video.
You're welcome.
Nathan, you're the man, brother. You the man. The man.
We'll see.
You be good. Take care. God bless.
Have a good day at school tomorrow.
Yeah. Nice seeing you again.
Yeah.
See you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Where to go?
Hi, Michael says, hey guys, I've only been building my layout for 2 months and the track is already filthy. How do you clean your track? Oh, everybody's got their own way of cleaning it there, Michael, but I found really the best way is just use paper towel and alcohol. You know, either 70% or that's one I use, the 70% isopropyl alcohol. Does a great job, doesn't leave any residue, so trains won't be spinning their wheels.
I have a track rubber thing. I got it at a hobby shop somewhere. I don't remember. It's really old though, so we get like a different thing.
Yeah, that sounds like a Bright Boy.
Yeah.
What, Don? Don't use the Bright Boy.
Yeah, because they'll scratch the rail and it leaves grit in the turnouts. It's okay when you're first building, especially when hand laying.
Yeah, I used it on like Easy Track before, and the Easy Track, I mean, I'm not using that now, so at least it didn't like ruin all the track that I have.
Babe, how do you clean the mud track?
I don't.
You don't? What have you been? Are you running the trains and not cleaning? You're using the all those rail cleaning.
Brillo.
Brillo. You use Brillo?
Hey, Georgianne.
Hey, John, thanks for the tip about using Brillo, buddy.
Oh!
Oh.
My friend. My friend.
Okay, she done paid me back one.
John Dilly, later. John, take care.
Yeah, have a good one. How you doing, Ralph?
I'm doing just fine. You're talking about cleaning track. Walters makes one of these things. It has a cleaner in the middle here.
Yeah.
It's not the greatest, but it does work. There's not a whole lot of pressure. There's a spring on it. Car's overweighted. Every once in a while, you take a sandpaper to the bottom of this to clean it up, put it back on the track, and leave it running in your train. Don't take it off. Just leave it running.
I have 8 cards of those. And I run them as a set.
I also make my own. The one that I make, the piece that's here, instead of this is like a Bright Boy.
Yeah.
The one I use is I put a piece of masonite here.
Yeah.
And I turn the rough side down to the track. And rather than putting springs like this is, it's suspended off a couple of roofing nails or screws that I put through. Mm-hmm. I put weights on the pad so that it's not in the car, it's in the pad. And that works. To me, it seems to work better than this does.
Yeah. Bucky wants to know when is the next Amherst train show. It's at the end of January of every year. You going, Bucky? No answer.
Yeah, he'll answer in a minute.
Oh wait, here we go. Oh, Walter's cleaning car and the CSS tank car cleaner car. Pull that around 4 or 5 times. Clean.
Ralph, look what I got.
Your power unit.
Yes.
Now, that has smarts in it or what?
Yep, the SB5. Because you recommended it, you helped me out, so I bought it. So thank you.
Excellent. Don't blame me for anything.
What are you suggesting there?
I sent you a video to watch. That's all I did.
That's the end of my involvement in this.
Oh, there. I just noticed that there's a switch on the bottom. What does that do?
I'm not sure.
I mean, I watched the video, but it didn't say anything. I like literally just noticed that. It's on the bottom.
Take a look at the documentation that comes with it. It may be a switch for, like they run them overseas as well. You can change the voltage.
That's probably what it is.
So don't touch it.
I would say that. Take a look at the documentation that came with it.
Okay.
It may explain it.
Yeah, that's called, it's called instructions.
Yeah.
Usually guys, this is what guys do when they get the instructions.
Yeah.
Remember what it was?
Exactly. If all else fails, you read the instructions.
One of those. I need to level the TV with that.
Right.
Sparky said yes, he is going to Amherst.
Good.
He said he hoped the snowplows would be out.
Well, that's what we were hoping last year, too.
It was cold last year, I'll tell you that.
But it didn't snow.
That's all right. Snow's good only if you're 12 years old.
Yeah, otherwise you have to drive in it. That's not fun. Well, it is fun because I get to slide around a little. But if you slide around too much, then it's not fun.
You like doing donuts.
Yeah.
He likes doing donuts with the cars. You slide around.
Not his car. His dad's car. What does he care?
Jilly has to take you back home and show Dad.
Hey, I hit a curve. Look what I did.
Put the alignment out.
Drive home with one wheel like that.
So, Ralph, did you see the show last night?
I did.
How'd you like it?
Well, I'm not at that stage yet, so I wasn't totally paying attention, although I have done operations before. There's about 3 or 4 different ways of doing it. Some guys are so particular about it. If a car is coming from, let's say it's coming from New York, and you're modeling the Midwest, and your other products that you're producing you're sending it to Florida, but they're not on your layout, but it's on the cards. Who the heck cares where it comes from or where it's going, right? It's from this building to that building.
Right.
You're doing your transfer with cars and so on.
It has its pros and its cons.
No, I like this idea about having photographs on the cars.
Yeah.
Especially in N scale when you can't read the numbers.
Yeah.
I made show. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you didn't watch the show last night then?
I see stuff. I don't have trouble seeing anything.
Well, you have to do like Marty down in Australia, because he said that he goes and operates on a N-scale layout from time to time, and he always has to take his OptiVisor, his magnifier, so he can see the numbers on the cars.
I had to do that at Joe Desmond's house when I went to his house.
Well, Dave was asking what's the difference between yards and staging. And Dave, if you go back and look at the video from last night, they tell you. But the short and simple answer is staging is where the train's going. That's the destination off the layout. Yards is where you make up your trains for making deliveries, where the products come in, trains made up, and then it's shipped out.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget to tune in next month, October 19th. Or in what is it, Joe's Train Room?
Yeah.
Okay. And stuff like that. So, here he is, the man, the myth, and the legend, Andy Crawford himself. Ladies and gentlemen.
King of Overkill.
Okay.
Did you catch that, Sam? That was good. The King of Overkill.
Who's the King of Overkill?
You.
Probably. Anything worth doing is worth doing right. If you're going to do it right.
Yeah, but take a look at where the comment's coming from.
I've shortcut plenty of things in my life, especially in my young life. As I got older, I don't shortcut things. It tends to bite me, and I also find I'm dissatisfied with things. So I comment on car routing you were just talking about.
Yeah. Well, before you start, Andy, just how old are you, Sam?
15.
15. Let me give you some advice here, son. Never bet on a horse named Tripod. Never ever buy anything off anybody on the street who's sweating and out of breath. Okay? All right? You got that now?
Yep, I got it.
All right, Andy, where were you?
So the reason that knowing the origin or destination of a car matters, again, it's not the fun of operating. So we operate for fun. The prototype reason that is significant is because of the lease rate a car is. So at midnight every night on the C&O Railroad, if there is a clinch-filled car on the C&O Railroad at midnight, they're going to pay the daily lease for that car. But we care a lot about getting cars back to the origin. So if a Santa Fe car is sitting in a C&O yard, and there's a local industry that wants to send furniture toward the West Coast, and there's a Santa Fe car there, they're going to use that car so that they can get that car back closer to its home road. Easily get that car back onto home rails. The goal of all railroads is to get as many home rail cars on the home road, the road that owns it, because there's no leasing for that, according to the ITC. There's federal government guidelines for all that stuff. Now, you don't have to care about that stuff, but it's another interesting thing to do. The guys were talking last night, give them credit for mentioning this. Some of the things that make Operation the most fun, you can do all kinds of stupid things. Well, I don't know about stupid. There's a lot of things that the prototype railroad does, a lot of stuff, and we don't do the vast quantity of it. What we do is pick and choose the things that are the most fun to do, and we try to do those things. So providing enough challenge to make it interesting, and enough stuff so that there's a bit of mental process and thinking, and a bit of the slow down and feel like the prototype and get the moments of prototype inspiration for what we're doing. And knowing destinations and origins lets you do some really smart car forwarding stuff. But I'm also a fan, operating is a role-playing game, like playing the game Risk. If you're going to play Monopoly or Risk or operate a model railroad, we've all got to work within a certain set of rules. And games that have very, very, very few rules are not a great deal of fun. The games that are the most fun I'll grant you that, but generally speaking, you want the right quantity of rules. The board games that have been the most successful over time and actually there's a statistic for this. It's actually an equation from figuring this out. The number of rules and the impact to operation will determine the success rate of a board game. Chutes and Ladders is a fairly low success rate board game. The amount of play time is quite low compared to a game like Monopoly. Monopoly has 7 times or 8 times, something like that, the number of rules that Chutes and Ladders does. It has around the optimal number of rules. So again, there's people who study this stuff scientifically to determine why Monopoly has been such a success. There's all kinds of rules about how to play Monopoly correctly, too. I mean, there's a whole study of mathematics of it. I think the best model railroad operations are the ones that follow that paradigm, that have a similar set of rules and constraints. Somewhere around where Monopoly is. I find a lot of model railroad operators try to keep their model railroads operating like Chutes and Ladders. That's not that great deal of fun. But the guys who have guys coming back all the time, and I've operated on, I don't know, maybe 30 railroads in my life. The ones that were the most fun were the ones that had a rule book that you could write on a pamphlet-sized piece of paper, possibly front and back. That's what you needed to know to operate the railroad. If you could put it on an index card, it's kind of dry. But if it took 4 or 5 pages, that's a little much.
Oh, Sparky had to go. I thought that was kind of funny. He goes, well, got to go. Wife just screamed. Must be a mouse. LOL. I might have to go to the pet store and buy a couple of more now.
I have some friends. That's great.
Lucky you can.
Well, I went to my second operation session last night, and it was the same place. Yep. And the rules, there was not many rules, probably one or two, like snakes and ladders, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. And there was, of course, there is things that you have to do. Anyway, for my second experience, it was great. I can't complain. But I don't think I would enjoy going to an operation session which is based on prototypical, and nah, that wouldn't be fun for me.
No, you don't want to do prototype. My scale here is the prototype has rules. It takes a fairly decently thick book. I've got to set a rule book around here for the prototype for the Norfolk Southern. You're talking about 1,000 rules to operate prototypically, let's say, and you, the layout you operate really had more quote unquote rules. And when we're talking about rules, we're talking about the way a board game is played, how to tell you how to play, not necessarily the law that governed how you or the employee guidelines that the railroad would give you. We're not talking about that. We're talking about what do you have to know to hook a locomotive up. Some of those things are just intuitive. You just realize.
Let me ask you a question. Is speed a prerequisite in your rules? Like yes. 45 miles an hour instead of 42?
It depends on where you're operating and what your layout is. Like say on my layout, it's a switching layout. So the rule on my layout, because it's a primary heavy industrial switching rule, is no more than 10 miles an hour.
So I agree. Yeah, I agree. But what about if the guy's going 13? Are you going to give him shit?
No. No.
Well,
I'm gonna smack him in the back of the head and throw him out of my house.
But okay, if the guy comes around,
there's also guys that'll throw a fast clock into the whole system.
Oh,
now you're up against the clock.
I've operated, like I said, I've operated roughly 30-ish different railroads. Some of those railroads, I mean, the club that I was a member of, I've operated on that layout. We had more than 100 operating sessions that I was a member of, and we fine-tuned that operating session. I don't enjoy an operating session in the absence of a fast clock. It's just not. I'm sure it could be possible, but of the railroads I've operated, less than 10 of them had a fast clock, but the only ones I truly enjoyed operating on was the one with the fast clock. It's too loose. It's too willy-nilly. It's just like, yeah, I ain't got nothing to do. There's no constraint. I can't screw that up. It's like playing with blocks. I can put them together however I want. What I want is a group of guys who are trying to work under.
You have card cards to tell you how to put them together. Right. You have card cards to do that. You're not putting them together any way you want.
Car cards is car forwarding system. How to get the car from what the car has to do to get from one place to another. The traffic management system can or cannot use a fast clock, and I'm sure that is a railroad out there that is using. There's two ways to do this: fast clock or sequential. And I'm sure there's guys out there that have sequential layouts that are fine. I'm sure that. I've just personally never operated on a sequential layout that was interesting, because whenever this train gets done, the next train is going to go. That's just. Everybody just waits around. There's no constraint. There's no challenge. You know, the reason Monopoly's fun is not because everybody's going to win at the end. It's because I get bragging rights when I beat your butt. There's a little challenge is a good thing in a game. Friendly challenge.
Well, I consider operations, regardless of what level you're at. It's trained chess.
Yes, sir. Good.
It's trained chess. So what you're doing here, and I agree with Lloyd. Are you going to give somebody, if you're doing 10 miles an hour on my switching layout and you go to 13, are you going to get 3 for it? No, you're absolutely not. But there are things that we do in my layout that if someone basically, if a situation happens, if someone derails, like we had a situation where someone came around and he came a little too quick and he derailed the train. Okay, so, prototypically we operate that no one can touch the train physically until you switch out the maintenance of way crane car from the yard. Okay, now afterwards, when we came out to enjoy, a little coffee and some Dunkin' Donuts, my friend is a big Boston cream guy, and he always tells me, "Oh, don't forget, get some extra Boston cream." So what happened was when we came out for coffee, I didn't give him a Boston cream, and I told him, I said, "This is you're getting written up for derailing the train and causing the delay of an hour and a half."
It's like me last night. I was on my third train, and I thought I was doing the same route as I had done the week before. So as I was about to finish, I get tapped on the shoulder by the owner of the layout, and he goes, "You have a penalty. You have to go back to whatever town because you forgot to drop off the cars." And it was at the end of the session anyway, and there was no traffic, but it was to give me a chance to learn how to do that part of the work. But yeah, he didn't give me shit. He just said your penalty is go back and do it. You're not leaving until it's done.
Right.
But like there was some stuff that was loose in the sense that there was a hill, and he parked on the hill unhooked and put a little piece of foam to prevent the cars from going down backwards. And unfortunately, he goes, at that point I didn't know that that's how the traffic was going to be, but he goes, it's my layout, so everybody knows that if you're going to do some switching around here, you have no choice. You got to put on the brakes.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, let me clarify my position ever so slightly. First, let me say there is no operating that's right for everybody. If you like operating, if you like going to your basement, turning the TV on, and sitting in a chair and watching them go around and around, more power to you. If
you're a looper,
it's a hobby. At the end of the day, if you're entertained, that's the only measuring stick of success there is. But if you are a more persnickety person, some people like to play rummy, and some people like to play bridge. Those are very different. Some people like to play checkers. Some people like to play chess. If you like to play chess, to use Bill's analog, which I really like, if you like to play chess, if you like that challenge, then the layouts that have a few more constraints, let's say, rules are a little much. And it's also, there's a little bit of, you need to be free and said freely. This is not about, challenge, or anything controversial. If on Bill's layout, somebody was skipping along 12, 13, 14 miles an hour, probably not a catastrophe. If they're going 30, if the operating session goes fun, if you're sitting there switching, ripping by, part of the thing about speed limits is making the layout seem some certain length. So if you leave staging and you run around to the other yard and you're there in a minute 45 seconds or something versus the 5 minutes that was kind of arranged for, the operating session kind of falls down. The sequential nature, if that's what you're using. Even with the fast clock, there is some sequential nature. But the controlling factor is a time clock with the time clock. And if not, it's sequential to the controller.
It says here, Glenn McFerrin says operations should be just fun. Whatever happens during the operation happens. It's all about good times and fellowship.
Exactly.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Creative Rail says, Andy, I thought a fast clock would only be useful for timetable operation. Wouldn't CTC dispatched layouts make a fast clock obsolete? Am I saying that right?
Obsolete.
What is it?
Obsolete.
Obsolete.
Yeah, I'm not up to the O's yet.
No, okay. Time again. This is so every railroad in the world, for the most part, virtually every railroad in the world, basically works on a schedule or is quote unquote a time clock driven railroad or a timetable. Sorry, a timetable driven railroad. Every railroad is. the timetable ultimately matters. TT&TO, or timetable and trade order, is that the timetable and then the orders to amend those when trains are in the field are the controlling characteristics. On a CTC railroad, the CTC is the controlling characteristic, and who's responsible for that timetable is the dispatcher. So the reason I don't love CTC dispatched railroads, strictly speaking, depends on what you're doing, but strictly speaking, I don't totally love them, is because it puts the entire onus of the railroad on the dispatcher. If you are the dispatcher, a CTC on a railroad is spectacularly fun to dispatch, but the operators basically run trains as if they're driving in evening traffic. You know, red light stop, red light go. What I love about timetable and trade order is the engineer, the guy standing here in the aisle with the throttle, has to think about what he's doing and make a decision on whether he thinks he can pull it off within the given time constraint. Otherwise, he just has to sit there. Also, timetable and trade order doesn't control you, like not hardly at all. If I'm sitting at this siding here, and it took me a couple more minutes to move cars around because the brake wouldn't release, you know, on the prototype, or it just took me longer to get it done, then timetable says I have to be in Coburn at 4:15, and it's, you know, 3:45, and I'm thinking, well, there's no way I can get there in that time, or maybe I can get there, but maybe I can. And if I think I can make it, I'm like, all right, let's try for it.
Sorry, Andy. Like last night, we work on timetables and a fast clock, and the timetable is only based on your departure time, not your arrival time, because what's important for you is to arrive at time or past, but not before, because probably the yard is not ready to receive you. So most of the time, like I would leave the yard exactly at the time on the fast clock. It was 4 to 1, the fast clock.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite speed.
And but I was usually late by 10-15 minutes.
Oh yeah.
So the yard master loved it. He goes, that gave me time to have a few sips of coffee or whatever.
But do you realize, just so that anybody who's ever, I mean, I worked, okay, for the sake of argument, some people, it was a commuter railroad, New York City Transit Authority subway system. Okay, but the deal is that no railroad is ever on time. The timetable is out there, the schedule is out there for the dispatch. Gap stations, gap locations, things happen. Like Andy said, you go to unload, you go to disconnect, you got a stuck brake situation. You got, you know, air leaking in the car, you got to fix, you got to overcome, you got to, you know, BCO brake cutouts and stuff like that. The schedule is, you know, you can leave on time, necessarily doesn't mean you're going to arrive on time. And you're right, Lloyd, the dispatcher on the other end is like, yeah, it was 15 minutes. That's a give and take. The New York City Transit Authority, if you're 5 minutes late arriving at the terminal, you're considered on time.
Yeah.
So there's many factors that work into working on the prototypical railroad. In our hobby, I believe that, you know, there's a lot of leeway. Like I work on my layout, I have 2 gentlemen that are former transit workers, like myself, that were motormen. So they do a lot of goofing around because they'll run the switch, they'll go through the signal. They won't, you know, they'll just do, because why? Because they were never able to do it when they had the job themselves, because it was a job of, you know, you were carrying people. So without that said, though, when they get down, I always watch when they get finished with the fooling around in the first 15 to 20 minutes, and we really seriously get down to operating. You watch how things come back. Now, some of these 2 guys have been out of the transit, have been retired now for over maybe 17. One guy 17 years, the other guy maybe 20. I myself is coming on 8. But you start to see how they come back into what they used to do. You know, like when the trains, when I give them, if I'm the yard master and I give them their trains made up out of the thing, I watch them and they take the brake, you know, they take the stretch, you know, to see if the brakes are holding. They take the rolling test, you know. Is it necessary? Absolutely not. Does it add? When I asked Jerry, I said, Jerry, why do you do that? I watch you do that all the time. And he always stops before the switches, you know, regardless of whether the switch is firm or not. I asked him why. He says, because this is what I was trained to do, and I like doing it, and it's relaxing. I tell you, the most fun, and I think that the gentleman before said it best. The best part, Glenn, he said the best part about this is the fellowship that we get out of this, is the friendships that we develop. And Lloyd, I think the most important thing is you going back there and learning operations, but it's the friendships you make, and that are, you know, deeply indebtable, and they last for a long time, you know, and that's what I think is important. You know, if you know, I've been to a layout in Jersey where the guy was a total, for lack of a better word, the guy was a total dick. You know, he just wanted it done in a certain way, and it wasn't fun. You know, it was like being on the job. You know, you had certain rules. If you went past this thing at the certain, you know, I was invited back, and I chose not to. I go back to the ones that you know, like Joe Desmond. You know, Joe runs he gets really, you know, I had 2 put-ins and 2 layups, and I quickly found out that this was like when I brought the first train out of staging, and I went to the yard master, and I said 25 cars, and I've always said this since I went to Joe's. You know, I said to the yard master, "What do you want me to do?" He says, "Well, just take the 2 head engines and sit behind that switch at the end of the layout, and go get some coffee." That's when I realized this was like my job. I went back into the crew room, and I did what I always did. I was breaking people's shoes and being stupid, and eating all the coffee and drinking all the coffee and eating all the donut. You know, hence the word Big Bill. So, but I just think having fun. I think that, you know, what we're doing here on YouTube Model Builders with this operations thing, the next couple of months, I think it's going to be interesting. And like we said, like they said, like Bill Baronic said, and Joe Desmond said last night, you take from it what you can, and you leave the rest. It's like a banquet table. You know, you always can come back for more.
Right.
There's a range of how far people should go depending on the personalities of people, and your railroad could have, my railroad, for example, has a range of different jobs. Some of those are a little more challenging, some a little less, depending on a person's personality. If you want to run a through trade, I've got through trades to run. They're not that challenging. Watch the signals, do the basic job of doing the right thing, and stay within some reasonable speed under 30, 35. Speed was 25, but 30, 35 be fine. And then there's other jobs that are quite complicated, that are extras, and the orders will change. It's about finding the right balance. But here's the measuring stick I find for anything. If you want to buy a new computer, go ask not just one person, because, you know, one person can have just any one random opinion, but go sample a few friends. What computers do they buy for themselves? You know, if you want to find out the computers to buy, go ask a computer technician who bought computers for years and years what he buys, but ask a few people, because people have different experiences in life. Do that with your model railroad operators, and you will still find a range of groups of 20 guys who've been getting together for 15 years in the guy's basement, and they operate quite seriously. And you'll find these other groups of 10 or 15 guys that are a little more lax. But I assure you, as you grow in maturity as an operator, after you've been doing it a while, you will find that the layouts that are dead simple and stupid complicated, either one of those extremes are very good. Somewhere in the middle, there's a balance, and that balance will shift one way or the other, depending on the personalities of people.
Hey, just want to give a shout out. Ron Bryce is in the house. Everybody from Australia. Hello, Ron. I haven't seen Ron in quite a while on the show, and
Big Ron.
Want to say hello, Big Ron Bryce.
All right, guys, I got school tomorrow, so gonna be
all
long.
right, Sam.
Yep, and we're hitting 121.
Sam, do me a favor. Do me a favor tomorrow when you're in school. Pay attention.
Yeah.
Did you see that head go back?
Pay attention, because there'll be questions when you come back on here.
That's right.
Yeah, I'll tell you everything about it.
Don't stress about it.
Listen, if you don't pay attention,
if
you don't pay attention now, here's the catchphrase. This is what you can say after high school. All right, what would you like, fries with that Coke?
There you are. My granddad had a great saying. Wasn't a well-educated man, but one of the smartest people I ever knew. And he said, you have one of two choices in life. You are going to sacrifice. The question is, do you sacrifice now or for the rest of it?
Take it from this fat 62-year-old man, bro. I went through high school with a pen in my ear and a notebook in my back pocket. Okay?
All right.
So you have a nice day tomorrow.
You too.
Sam.
All right, bro.
Take care.
We love
Sam.
you, Sam. You take care.
Be good, Sam.
But not like
Sam.
love you like
I love you like a brother, son, but not necessarily my brother.
Yeah. All right. See ya.
There you go, Sam. You take it easy, guy.
See ya.
All right.
There you go.
Okay, I have to ask a question, guys. It's a little bit of a on the morbid side, but anyway. How many guys listen to the AML network, the podcast with Lionel? Okay, that's one. I don't know how many are in the audience that do. Last Wednesday, one of the regulars on the AML show, Stuart Sterling.
Yeah.
The one Lionel says is the former F1 ace.
Yeah.
He had a massive heart attack on Wednesday of last week, and he passed on Sunday.
Oh my goodness. How old was he?
He was, I believe, 53 years old.
Oh, please.
He drove a transport truck for UPS in Alaska and up and down the coast. And, he was in the Kansas City for the show. He was at the, where'd they go from there? The AML picnic he made time for, which was, I can't remember, that's in Rochelle. Anyway, a lot of the guys on the AML have taken it quite badly.
Yeah.
And Lionel has put out, as of, I think it was on Monday, I think it's show 35 or 53, I can't remember. Anyway, it was the interview he did with Stuart Sterling. So, just thought I'd mention it.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Oh, God. Way too sad story.
The whole thing about it, though, is like we're doing here, like we do every night when we have our chats. We're not close to each other, but because of this, we become close. And you it's almost like part of the family.
Absolutely.
And then when somebody goes, like when Jim went last year,
yeah,
it's hard to take.
Well, you can't spend this much time with somebody, whether that's physically in the same room or working with a gentleman for years or whatever, or as much time as we spend together, and not become pretty good friends. I mean, that's how you make friends. Is time. Time's the only thing that does it.
Yeah. I mean, you look at it.
He put a bunch of shows to him, to our F1, F1 Ace is delivering packages along, blah, blah, blah. 53 years.
He took a photo that he sent to Lionel. It was on the Facebook page. He took a picture of his truck at night, and you had the Aurora Borealis in the sky above him.
Oh gosh, that's so awesome!
And he's not just driving any truck; it's a 2-trailer truck.
Yeah, pups or whatever they call them, but that's all about
tandems.
Full-size trailers.
There you are. Yeah, that's full-size trailers. Yeah, that's on my bucket list. I want to see Aurora Borealis as bad as anything.
Ron Bryce says it's like losing a family member. So true. Very,
exactly.
very
true.
Exactly.
But often you get closer to friends than you do family members. I mean, I love my family and am close with my family, but I sadly don't get as much time to spend with them.
Well, it's funny. My best man had a saying, and it's true. Friends and family are like fish. After a while, they begin to stink.
George Carlin had my saying about that. He says, there's nothing in life better than a close, loving, tight-knit family in another town.
Well, we done hit the hour 27 mark, so we kind of stretched this one pretty good. So I think we're going to wind this one up.
You know what we should do one time, Don?
What's that?
On a Thursday night, Johnny's Train Talk Show, we should do like marathon 24-hour train talk show.
They do that. They do that.
What happened? Your camera looked like it froze, John.
Yeah, I think that'd be kind of boring. They do that on New Year's on a lot of the podcasts that I listen to. I never
y'all
listen.
See what I did, didn't you? Y'all see what I did, didn't you? I don't know what happened to Bill's mic. It just kind of cut out there.
Oh, that's
No offense. How many want to do a marathon? Why? Oh, look at you. You don't want to join me?
You decide to do a marathon, I'll put a few hours in with you. Then I'll go off and somebody else can put a few hours in with you.
Yeah, Ron in Australia said he'd help you stay awake.
That's a 24 hours straight. You got to pay a man pretty good 24 hours straight these days. That's tough.
Yeah, I'll leave that one to Jerry Lewis.
Could you imagine? That would be so cool. All right, John, I'm sorry. Kind of like I do it.
I'll back you, Bill. I'll back you.
There you go. Lloyd, my boy. That's it. My man up in Canada. Love him.
I'll back you. I'll promise I'll drop by maybe every 2 hours to see if you're still awake.
Lloyd and I'll take shift.
Yeah, you know. Oh, Dave Piper said he's in. All right, let's end. I apologize. I don't get out. I don't get out much.
24-hour op station where you're operating like 6 days or something of a week, 24 hours straight.
Go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
The best way to do it is with the time clock for our speed clock.
Fast clock.
Fast clock. Get it done quicker.
Fast clock. Yeah, 4-1. We beat
I'll
get it done a lot quicker.
No, I'll set it for 10 to 1.
All right.
Okay. Oh, let me see here. Yeah, I think we pretty well finished this month out here. And all we got left now for this month. Yeah, somebody's messing with my book. They flipped the page, put me in October.
I didn't do it.
Well, we only got one week left in this month. So the only show I got left is mine for next week. And that's going to be what? The 27th. Yeah, this is still September. Alrighty.
When is the next fine scale?
To die.
October 9th.
Okay.
October 9th.
Out too. I hadn't shared that with you, Lloyd, yet, but I did just find that out last night too. Get caught up on it.
So you want me to be there?
Well, yeah, well, absolutely.
Alrighty. Well, y'all can set the schedule up after the show.
We'll work on that.
Alright, with that said, appreciate everybody coming in. Appreciate all the guys in the chat there. We'll be back next Thursday night at 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern time. And on that show, I'll give you an update on October's schedule, so you won't miss out on anything. Y'all have a good weekend, and we shall see you next week on Thursday night. Have a good one.